Things, the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit. I am Christy.
And I am Mia, and you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends. Hey, y'all. Okay, so, real quick. First of all, how is everybody doing?
Right.
Y'all, it is a fool out here. Let's see.
Man.
So our last episode, we talked about, worthiness. And I believe we titled What Makes You Worthy. And how, we talked about how we define our own worthiness and how a lack of self-worth can cause people to act in certain ways. And honestly, a lot of this was precipitated because of, Jada Pinkett Smith had released the book Worthy. And it really, Christy and I really started having a conversation about we wonder how much of even releasing the book and all these interviews and everything she was doing and saying was really her way of trying to define her own worthiness for whatever reason. But anyway, but it did get into a little bit of a deeper conversation. So hopefully you guys check that out.
Yep.
What's up, Christy?
Okay. So for those of you who have been following us, for 4 seasons now, over 100 episodes maybe? Yeah.
It's definitely over
100 episodes. You all know that a lot of our topics and a lot of our episodes are based off of what we're actually going through in our lives ourselves. And so there a lot of them are fresh. We'll talk about relationships. Maybe there was a transition or something that happened in our relationship. But, lately I have been in this space where I've really been allowing myself to feel my feelings. And so out of this phase that I've been in, I really wanted to talk about this and to share.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've discussed this before. What we've talked about is the avoidance. What happens when we don't deal with our feelings? Because either, it's inconvenient or it's painful or it makes you feel weak or and Christy, since she brought it up, I'm going to tell you Christy's favorite, I don't have time.
I don't have time.
I don't have time to deal with this. So today's episode, we're going to name it "Feel It to Heal It." Mm-hmm. Now, wait a minute. So let me say this. I've been saying this to you forever. Yeah, I've been now, and I told you I'm slow. Know.
I told you I'm slow.
When it comes up, I honestly believe that is what was leaps and bounds. I just stopped running. It's just like, oh, this what we doing? Oh, okay, we fighting. Come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, what is this? I just need to allow myself to feel it. It's like the more you push it away, but go ahead.
And the pushing away piece, and that's what I'm realizing too. And I know that you've been telling me. I mean, honestly, I will have to say that you have helped me to get in touch with my feelings because I know that you're very in tune with your emotions. You're a Cancer.
Yeah, but I say, girl, that's just that water sign.
I know, but you're a Cancer, and I think being around you and seeing how you move through the things that you're going through, it has brought me comfort and security just moved through my own. Because before I'm like, well, no one has my back. I'm in this by myself just because I'm accustomed to going through shit by myself. But now I realize that I don't have to go through it by myself. I have an entire spiritual team. I have, my ancestors backing me up. I have angels there. And I have friends. Like I have a whole new tribe of friends that surround me, that pray for me.
Yes.
So now I feel more secure in allowing myself to go through my feelings. And it has really, not to go through my feelings, but to feel them. But it has really been it's been a interesting journey. Like I feel like it's almost like a new phase to an awakening.
I want to hit on a theme you just said real quick, that you are never alone.
Yep.
And I love when you said, realizing, thinking that I had to go through this alone. The first thing you talked about was your spiritual team. Mm-hmm. Because even when we feel alone or we don't have someone in our presence in front of us in the 3D world, that can feel so lonely as you're working through things. And sometimes we feel like we want somebody there. But if you really think about it, what can they really do?
Yeah.
Say it's going to be okay. and, you know, to remind you of that. But at the end of the day, you know, it's something that you have to work through within yourself, but it's not by yourself.
Right. And then also, you know, in the past, like you mentioned earlier, you push it away, and you don't deal with it. But I'm realizing, as hurtful and as hard as it may feel, or as difficult as it may feel, it's like ripping that Band-Aid off. You know, like some wounds I'm sure when growing up, you have a wound, you have a Band-Aid on it for weeks and it just doesn't seem to heal. But once you take it off and you allow the air to heal, like to hit it, then it starts to heal. And I'm realizing that allowing myself to feel it is actually what's going to heal it. And that has been very comforting. It's been interesting, but it's been comforting.
But think of it about, you know, it's similar to when you've just surrendered and oh, you know, I'm sorry, guys. But let's get into these. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. But get into these discussion points. So, why do you think we avoid our feelings?
Well, you know my excuse. I don't have time. Because a lot of times I feel like pausing, especially if it's a very deep and emotional thing that I need to go through or process, I don't have the time, or I felt like I didn't have the time because I have this to do. This person is waiting for me, or I had this expectation is from me, and I just didn't have the time. But that's not true. That's a lie that I told myself to not deal with my feelings.
So what do you think the avoidance was by saying, you know, I don't have time? Is it the fear of what it's going to feel like, or is it, you know?
For me, D, all of the above. You can put whatever excuse, A, B, C, D, all of the above. That was the reason. And, you know, for me, I was like, I just don't have time for it. You know, I felt like for me, it's like it's almost like I got to take this baggage, bring it over to this room, unzip it, unpack it, sort through it. And I just didn't feel like having the time to do that.
Yeah, you know, you hate packing and moving.
The moving part, yes, but I do like to pack. Unpacking is another story. But, yeah, it just, but now it's like for me, it was the depth of the feelings that I felt like I had to feel. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to because it was too painful.
I was gonna say what I hear a little bit is it's almost like you have to release control.
Oh yes.
And it's like, oh, I'm a whole grown up. I'm about to just release control of my life. I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know how I'm going to feel. But that also speaks to, that means we weren't trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we don't trust that whatever it is, it's okay. Whatever it is, we can learn from it. Whatever it is, we can grow from that point.
Yeah. So you've always been a person very comfortable dealing with your feelings. How were you always like that?
No. No, she was not.
So what got you to that point? Because I do feel like I'm just now getting to that space where I'm starting to feel comfortable being uncomfortable.
A couple of things. I learned that when I don't address things, what I do to myself. Yeah. The pop of when you have been just sweeping and sweeping and sweeping under the rug. You got a whole Mount Kilimanjaro under your
been
rug.
There.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you can't walk around it. You can't not address it. And it always comes at the absolute fucking worst time. Like, and it's like, oh, we got so I've experienced that, and it's not cute, yo. It is not cute at all. And for me, it was. I did not want to release control. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen if I addressed these things. Because even when I begin to talk about them, think about it, or even acknowledge that it's something that had to be addressed, it was like the tennis ball in the throat thing, I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. And so, and I didn't know how long it was going to last. And there's always something going on. Life is happening. You know what I mean? I got to go do this. Time. I got to I don't know what, this might wipe me out.
All the time.
And the other reason is because, and what I've learned is in my relationships, when I don't address what I need to address for myself, the way that it comes off is something that I don't intend, that I never intended for people that I care about. So I can come off standoffish. I can come off like I'm not caring, like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I'm really detached from my relationships because I'm detached from me. Because whatever, like as this thing, so it's just, and so people will take that personally. You know, we have a choice of how we can take something, but I realized that my actions were doing that to, you know, my loved ones. And it's just like, that's, and that made me feel really bad, because now it's like I'm hurting people because I'm so fucking afraid to take care of my own shit. Come on,
wow. G. Yeah.
Like, that's busted as hell.
Yeah, no, and I get that. And you said something earlier, which I think is a really great point. The more that I continue to work on myself, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all of that stuff holistically, the more I'm starting to trust myself. And the more that I'm trusting myself, the more I'm feeling comfortable dealing with my feelings and dealing with the areas of myself that need healing. Whereas before I would just avoid because I don't have time.
Yep.
And that trust component is huge, because I can definitely tell that since I've, you know, I continue to work on myself, and it's like, okay, I guess you's cool people, you know, I trust you. Now I'm starting to so as I go wide in terms of trust, I'm able to go deeper internally.
Yep. Yeah.
And thank you for making that point.
What made you, and you don't necessarily have to get specific, but what made you take the first step? What made you, you know what I mean? What flipped the switch? Or was it a slow dial turn?
You know, it was more of a dim. Honestly, you get to a point in life. I'll speak for myself. I got to a point in my life, and this actually started with my quote unquote awakening, or whatever you want to call it. But I just got to a point where I was tired of the same stuff. I was tired of the same thing. And I was tired of, you know, if I want to get a different outcome, I'm going to have to do something different. And I started also, you know, spending more time with myself, meditating more, connecting more with my guides, getting a deeper understanding of who I am. And once I got to that point, I'm like, you know what? We got nothing but time. And I want to be free. I want to be free from all of the things that are keeping me bound. I want to be free. And I'm like, let's do it. I just got to a point where it's time to deal with it. You know, once you know that pile of dirt that you put to the corners, like, you know what? I'm tired of it.
So that's the thing about, like, oh my goodness, Christy, it's
like, yeah, I'm tired of this mess. I think I need to clean it up now.
It's like when we go into it, often we're looking at it as the things that are keeping us bound to something. It's like these tethers. But at the end of the day, it's really something that we're keeping ourselves bound to.
Yes, right.
You know, because all we have to do is let it go. All we have to do is address it, and it's done. So it's not like we have to wait for somebody else to do it. That's something that's keeping us bound. No, we're doing it to ourselves. Yeah. It's the craziest thing. But also, like you said, that fear thing. It's like
fear is a mother.
So to me, that was my holdup for a very long time. I didn't, because I knew I had some stuff that I really needed to just kind of address within myself, and just really patterns of things that, you know, I would allow in my life, and I'd be like, why? And I just I didn't want to force myself to sit down and think about that, because mine was I don't know how I'm going to respond. I don't know if I was going to lose my shit. I didn't know if I was going to get violent. I didn't know. And that's every time I would even begin to think about thinking about it, I would have a very visceral reaction. And I think I was just really afraid, like that I might have been one of them people like Hulk smash. Like all of the above. I felt like I was like for real angry. Like I was like, y'all for real don't want me to do that. Like y'all really like, because a couple of y'all might,
do you really want to see
like
She-Ra?
Leave me alone. So I think I didn't want to lose control of myself.
Yeah. Okay, but let me ask you. So once you made that first step, then what? Because I honestly feel like making that decision, making that first step is the absolute hardest.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
Damn, I got shit to do. And it's almost like, you see that pile in the corner, like, oh, I need to clean that. I'll get to it. And then finally when you get to it, and then 20 minutes into the project when you're almost done, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Like the pile of clothes of laundry that's sitting on my bed right now, clean that I need to fold. I think when, it's easier if we go and, because we set these expectations of what we think it's going to be like. And we think, of course, the absolute worst. Mm-hmm. So I think when we release any expectation of what it's going to look like, how we're going to be, and just surrender to like, okay, I'm not going to hurt myself.
Right.
I trust myself to know.
Like you didn't bring yourself this far to just
right. Come on, man.
Crash.
Like, right. So I think once you kind of release that it has to go like this, or it's going to feel like this, or this is going to be the worst thing, or this is going to be the best thing, it just is.
Yeah. Listen to Surrender to the Unknown podcast. A couple episodes earlier, we talk about surrendering to the unknown.
Yeah.
But it's scary. And honestly, like, we don't know what's on the other side of healing. Mm-hmm. We only know pain. We've only been accustomed to pain. We've only been accustomed to the darkness. We've only been accustomed to just feeling depressed or sad. And it's almost like, and I think I've shared this in an episode before, when in my first marriage, when I went through the abuse, I was afraid to let go of those feelings because it became my security. And even though it was a horrible experience for me holding on to those feelings, it became like the security blanket, and I was afraid to let it go.
Well, it's something that right. You know that saying, it's better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't.
That's true.
So you have to think about it. If you are in a situation with someone that you have loved and trusted, or you do love and trust, and they are acting in a way that is just like, I didn't see this coming. Like it can be very jarring and surprising to you, but you're like, and I know this person. Yeah. If I go out there, I know this one. Like, what the heck is out there waiting for me? At least I can track this one out, and I can tell when it's about to go crazy and when blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And we learn how to survive in traumatic situations.
Isn't that crazy?
Because we don't want to take the time to heal ourselves. And seriously, we become so good at it that we forget.
It's like, yeah, I know this is about to, like, it's almost like I got to the point in the relationship where you can see the cycle.
Yes!
Like, oh, okay, yeah, this is about to be, I'm about to fuck you up kind of day. Like, this is about to, okay, I'm ready for it. I know what I'm walking into, but it's definitely.
So the same energy that you put into figuring out, think about it. It's the same energy, the same amount of energy that you put into figuring out how to survive and move around and, bob and weave in a traumatic situation.
No, you're right.
Use that same energy to work on your shit.
You're right.
And understand what about me attracts this type of person to me? What about me is putting me in a situation where I can't see my own value. Why can't I see my own value? What happened? Like, answering those tough questions, and this one is going to move you along. Mm-hmm. This one right here is going to help you maintain. This is stagnation, where you're putting in that energy.
Movement.
Right, it's no movement. You're just stagnant. You're learning how to survive where you are in a place that you don't want to be at. as opposed to answering questions to yourself about yourself and for yourself that's going to move you forward. And it takes the same amount of energy. If you really think about it, it sounds stupid as hell.
There you go. And honestly, yeah, that is so true. It is the same amount of energy. But also, and I think for some of you who have been in difficult relationships, you get to a point where you feel like you're just destined to be in shitty relationships. And you don't feel like you deserve to be in a healthy or healed relationship, and you kind of just accept it. And I think that's another reason why people are afraid to heal, because they're just like, well, this is, like we said earlier, the fear of unknown, but also not feeling like they deserve to be healed, and they don't deserve to be healed. And that also comes with a sense of self. The more that you spend time with yourself, the more you get to understand you. But you can't understand you if you don't spend time with yourself. So, and that's another thing too. So as I've been meditating and spending time with myself, I'm still learning about me, but I'm developing that trust and that sense of self, which is enabling me to trust myself more, which is making me, allowing me to feel more comfortable going through all of this.
Think about it. With any relationship, you're always getting to know your partner more and more, because we are forever evolving and changing.
Mm-hmm.
I have finally gotten to the point where I am my favorite subject. I love learning more about myself. I love seeing myself in many different ways and eyes, and seeing what I'm learning in space, and being able to not be in something as it's happening in from a place of like in the forest, but kind of like the drone view. I can literally should just sit back and observe, like, wow, okay, this is what's happening right now, and take it for this is another piece to the puzzle that's me. And I feel like we should all be our favorite subjects.
Absolutely. And I feel like I'm getting there.
Every time we put into wanting to understand our children. I mean, all of our energy, time, efforts, and just,
or our partners,
or our boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, all that's we put a lot. We want to know their favorite color. I mean, you could, we are in relationships with people, and before they open their mouths, we know when they're about to, what the energy of what they're about, because we know them.
Right.
But yet we don't look at our own warning sounds, and our own warning sounds. We don't see our own triggers when we're about to betray ourselves. You can tell, you're like, hey, well, this motherfucker about to lie. But when we're doing it to ourselves, we're not even seeing because we don't know ourselves.
I'm fine. But, I think another thing to remember, as you are working towards feeling it to heal it, is to realize that you're making a commitment to yourself. Mm-hmm. This is for no one else but you. And I think a lot of people sometimes feel guilty for putting that time into themselves and for making time for themselves and to getting to know themselves. Yes, it's time for you to be selfish. It's time if that's what being selfish is, it's time for you to be selfish.
Yeah. But
it's important to understand that you're making this commitment for yourself and for your well-being and no one else. This is your story, your journey, your show. You are the main character.
So let me ask you a question. Oftentimes when people are at this point in their lives where they're making a decision, or at least having the conversation with themselves, like, what does it mean to put myself first? What does it mean to really dive into myself? And they're in relationships. People could be married or living with a partner. I think there's a fear there if I commit to myself, does that mean that I am taken away from my relationship?
Not at all.
You know what I mean? So how I think a lot of people probably wonder, how do you balance that when you're in relationship? Does that mean I need to break up with you while I go heal myself? Because when we think about how do we do this, how does this happen in practice?
Yeah.
I don't think people need to break up with people in order to be able to heal the situation. However, what I will say is that I do think that it's fair to share with your partner where you are in terms of, because if you're about to start moving different,
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whatever it is that you're going through, that means it's going to affect, you know, your partner. I say the best way to be well intended is to be honest with where you
absolutely.
are, and and if they choose to say, okay, you know what, I'm here, I can stick it out with you. You know, what do you need from me? You know, how can I help or whatever? Then that's their choice. But to be going through this where every day you don't know who you are, but then having to fake with the partner that you're with that you're still there because you don't want to lose them. So it's like, you know, let me go through this and I don't want to lose them. So now you're being two people and you're really not healing yourself. I think that's unfair because you are wholly inauthentic at this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's no way that you can lack authenticity and really be having a real self-awareness and healing journey within yourself. Mm-hmm. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like there's no space for you to be inauthentic when you're talking to you. Just like how?
Yeah, but no, you brought up, and I kind of want to talk about this because I actually never thought about it. Is how you move through this while being with someone.
Yeah,
and I mean, I make time for myself. Like I have my meditation time in the morning. Mm-hmm. I have my journal. Girl, you be proud of me. I've been journaling a little bit more. But I have my time in the morning where I pray and I meditate, and my partner knows. Like I don't even have to put a little sign. I don't have to. Like he kind of just knows.
Right.
Just, you know, just like, okay, this is Christy's time. And if I'm going through something, I'm very transparent. I'm like, look, I'm a little quiet. Don't take anything like personal. And I'll tell them I'm working through some emotions right now. So I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of talking, but it has nothing to do with you.
I mean, I think honestly, that's best for you and for him.
Mm-hmm. Because otherwise,
right? It's what are you doing? Why are you acting like that? And you're saying no, nothing's wrong. You know, that just. It leads to so many other things when you can alleviate all the bullshit just by being honest. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. Let's say you do have a partner that you say that to, and you are made to feel like you are being selfish. You are made to feel like, you know, basically that, you know, it isn't a good time for you to be trying to figure yourself out, and where you don't feel supported. Now you're in the place where you have to make a decision. Is my relationship
you or me?
Right, more important than the journey of discovery for myself right now? And this is where the rubber hits the road because you don't know what's on the other side of that. This is where the fear sinks in. Mm-hmm. The fear sinks in. It's like, I don't not. You know what? Let me just stay right here. But what happens is, now you know that you are not who you are supposed to be. Now you know that you are half-assing it out here. And now you know that you made a choice to be in a relationship as opposed to choose yourself. And that's going to eat at you every day. Yeah. Little by little by little by little by little. Now you're adding big boulders onto the stuff you already been sweeping under the rug. Like this, once we openly betray ourselves, because when you know, you can't unknow, you guys.
Yeah.
Real facts. Once you can't.
Once you know.
You can know something and decide to move in the same direction of when you were ignorant of something. But now you know, it doesn't go away.
And y'all, don't half-ass stuff. Always use your full ass. Both booty cheeks. But no, seriously, I will say that also, you know, when I do have those moments where I have to be honest with my partner and share, like vocalizing it helps me to be accountable. Because it's like, okay, I'm actually vocalizing my feelings. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's big. That's something you've never done, Christy. That means that you're really allowing yourself to feel these feelings, to acknowledge the feelings, not only to yourself, but to someone else. And so now you need to continue to move forward with, you know, this process. So I think that is helpful, just being able to share that. But it's been, you know, it's.
Let
it's been an amazing experience, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I feel like, and I keep breathing, I feel like I can breathe. You know, like, I feel like there's some weight that's been released. I feel like there's more, you know, like my lungs are able to expand more. Mm-hmm. I just have this sense of, even when times are rough, like even when times are just like, damn, Christy, I'm like, wow, the fact that I'm even able to feel all of this is just a wonderful experience.
Oh,
you know?
Seriously, no. For real, Chrissy, right there. That is really, I don't think you understand how there are people in this world who do not have the capacity to feel. They have to, you know, we're talking about people when we're fighting feelings. But the fact that I have the ability to feel such heights.
Right.
And such lows.
It's so,
and to be able to move back and forth. It's like, you know, it's this ecstasy. You know, they even call orgasms, you know, a petit mort, like the little depths.
Yep.
Because, you know, there is this space where you're depleted and you die, but then there is rebirth after that. And it's something so beautiful about being able to experience life like that.
Maybe I'll die tonight.
I'm done with you.
My bad. I mean, you know. Hey.
So yeah, I think it's just.
But I will say that, you know, the perception, like we were saying, the perception of my life, even the lows have been really wonderful, because even in the lows, I'm able to appreciate them, and I'm even able to find beauty in those moments.
Yeah.
And I don't look at it like, oh, this is a really shitty day. It's like, you know what, this was a challenging day, but you know what did I learn from it? And what did I learn about myself in this? It's just been a very self-honoring and self-exploratory. I'm making up words too, maybe. It's been very comforting. It's been, I just don't have the words. It's been a very interesting experience. It's been beautiful.
I'm like, even with the way you describe it is beautiful. You know, I love the idea of self-honor.
Right. Like, I feel like I'm really...
Self-honor.
Right. Feeling these feelings. And honestly, there are times where I'm feeling some things like, why am I feeling this? And I think about you and I'm just like, okay, it's all right. Feel the feels. Feel it. You have time. Let's work this out. Let's stop what we're doing.
What else we gonna do, man?
I know. What else are we gonna do?
To experience this.
And now that I know
from
that,
the windows to the wall.
Hey.
To the spot. Okay, sorry.
No, ski. Okay.
A little petit mort.
Right. Yes, ma'am. I'll have 2 of those. Maybe 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to feel it to heal it tonight.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, geez.
I'm not sorry, but you.
She's like, no, I'm just let me stop lying.
Laughter is healing.
Oh, it definitely is. So feel that. No, seriously, do you can be having a really shitty moment or dates. There's something about laughing. It's hard. Like, once you start laughing, it's over.
It really is. And honestly, here's a secret, y'all. You cannot be angry and shake your booty. You can't, which is why I'm always moving. Like, I'm always, anyway, wake up with a random song every day.
Wait, that's why I sent you that video.
Oh, wait, which one?
Of the girl there was a video I sent Christy on IG of this girl. It was 2 girls. They got it was about the body graphing. You know, manifesting generators and generators when they wake up versus reflectors, projectors, and manifestors.
Yes, it is spot on.
I was like,
that
oh my God,
me.
this is Christy.
That is you.
Absolutely. I I was like, this is so Christy. Especially when she turned around and started twerking.
Yep.
In the morning for what?
Because it feels good to my soul.
Oh, girl, she got a crack. That was funny. All right, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway. My takeaway is to be willing to show up for. I mean, I feel like I've said this before. To be willing to show up for yourself. This is all about you. Like, if you're ready to move past, and I think that's another thing too. People are like, oh, well, the feelings are so deep. They're so hard, and they're so deep and hard.
Bitch, what do you want today? Yeah, we need to wrap this up. Christy needs to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, fuck this. We about to start videotaping because I wish I was gonna see a fucking face. She said deep and hard. Like something clicked in. She closed her eyes. Deep. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit, girl. Woo. Oh, man.
You okay over there?
I am. I'm good. Yeah, Mia gave me a gummy. I'm gonna blame it on the gummy. I don't know what's in this. Anyway.
Okay, no, friend. We have to start recording, y'all. Okay, y'all. Seriously, please. Whew. Okay. No.
Okay, I'm done.
So, yeah, you guys, look. Honestly, my takeaway is we're energetically wise, and from what's happening, these astrological events that are happening. We're in eclipse season right now.
Yes.
Beginning and endings are a really big thing. So sometimes in order to get to that ending, to get to that beginning, like actually not sometimes, you have to feel it. Mm-hmm. Acknowledge it and work through it. Have the moments. It may not be as bad as you think. It may be worse than you think, but you will never be the same. You are forever transformed from going through that moment. If you keep finding a way to fight against it, you are not moving. You are choosing stagnation. Remember, a couple of episodes ago, I told you guys, we are in a moment where we are able to choose the type of reality that you want to live. If you are making a conscious decision to stay your behind where you are because you don't want to feel your shit, go through your shit, grow yourself to move to the next level, know that that's what you're choosing. You're choosing to stay right where you are.
And who wants to do that?
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you don't want to be there.
Yeah. So you're that plant that is choosing not to break out in, through the dirt.
I'm going to stay a seed.
Right. Oh, that's sad.
Right.
Do you know how pretty you're going to be?
You know how pretty you. You know what? Do you want to do the crystal? I'll grab I'll do some oracles.
Yes.
All right.
So the crystal of the week, y'all, is the nebula stone. If you all have seen this stone before, it's a really cool looking stone. Element is storm. It's good for all the chakras, especially the root and the crown. So one of the characteristics this stone brings is that makes it unique is that it combines and blends the properties of the four main elements. And also, because this crystal has some quartz in it, it's programmable. So whoever wears it, you can utilize it to assist in the attainment of personal and spiritual goals. And this crystal activates the most ancient and basic aspects of the physical body, energizing the carbon molecules and attuning one's consciousness to the subatomic particles that are the basis of the physical world. I know, very scientific. The stone carries the energy of the Great Mother and enhances one's ability to find one's inner knowledge of the Creator. It also carries more expanded range of light frequencies, so it's helpful for grounding people through their spiritual opening process. So if you all don't have this crystal, I highly suggest and recommend to get it. But that is the nebula stone. Have you heard of the nebula stone before?
Yes, I have heard of it. I do not have one.
I don't either. Look, whenever there's a crystal that I don't have, I'm like, oh, I need to look up and get I need it.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna do a quick reading for the collective.
That's gonna be good
because we are in eclipse season. We have an eclipse on the 28th?
Let's see. I think
this
so.
month.
Yeah.
So you guys, this will be posted on the 27th, the day before the full moon eclipse. Look, man. When I say it's choosing time, it's literally choosing time. Think of this as your own personal draft, where you want to be. So whatever it is that you have been struggling with, whatever little tidbits of ashes of BS that that you've been holding on to. I'm so sorry, guys. Excuse me. That you've been holding on to. It's time to release it with this moon. So, a cord cutting ceremony, a burning ceremony, a whatever works for you. You guys can Google any of that. And also, even if you're not necessarily into astrology, I would suggest understanding a little bit more. I'm going to suggest somebody to listen to who does a really good job of explaining what the energy is of all the astrological events that are happening. And so this is from a collective level. We have a lot of the outer planets are coming back from retrograde and turning direct. What is that meaning? What does that put into the air? There's so many things that are happening right now that are, haven't happened in a million gajillion years type thing. So we are at an epic time. And when I tell you it's player's choice, you're here, you're in the game. Wake up to the fact that you get to choose. So I'm just going to pull a couple cards real quick from the Moonology deck.
Ooh.
I love this deck. It's super cute. New moon in Libra. Know you are loved. New moon, okay. New moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. And then the new moon in Aquarius, open to change. Okay, y'all, this is like super clear. Look. So, like I said, I pulled from a Moonology deck. And so what is the highest and best message for the collective during this time? So after we have a full moon, our next moon event will be, the new moon. Our next major new moon event. So new moon is what? Set intentions, new movement. When I say we are closing doors, we are closing doors. But the newness that we can bring in, that we have the power to bring in, we are manifesting as we speak so fast now. So they're saying, in this new space, reminding yourself to know that you are loved, that you are never alone, that you are, the more that you love yourself, the more that you attract love to you. Allow that to be part of your new steps. And for whoever needs to hear, during this new time, attune yourself to your divine self. Make your divine self your guide, that northern star, as opposed to the 3D self. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is time to remind ourselves that is what we are. Mm-hmm. We are not humans trying to attain spirituality. Mm-hmm. We are being reminded of what the essence of what we are and what we're experiencing is being a human. That's another thing. And the last message that I'm getting from Spirit for is new means change. New is different. If being afraid of change is what's stopping you from walking down the yellow brick road, it's time to open up to some change. And remember, anything new is different. Anything new has to be, it's change. After chaos, there is always order. Okay? All right, y'all. That's the message.
All right. That was good. I hope you all had your notebooks out and your journals. Any temple work?
No. Except for you guys. Only temple work, not necessarily for your journals this week, is figure out what you need to release that's stopping you, that is keeping you.
I know I'm gonna be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, find anything that works for you. I think we did a rituals episode. We probably need to do a new one soon.
Mm-hmm.
But look up full moon rituals. But like I said, tell you a burning ritual will. Oh my goodness, especially with that eclipse. I look that up. Think about that. But yeah, enjoy yourselves. All right, y'all.
Yep. You all, thank you for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things. Again, don't forget to follow us. You know, all of these downloads we have from the podcast, you all need to be also following our page too on Instagram. Also check out our website, www.twoqueensandcrystalthings.com. You all follow our personal page. Mia's personal page is Wings Unleashed 444.
Hey.
My personal page is Christy R. Edwards. We would love to speak to you, chat with you, and hope to see you in the future. We plan to do some online stuff soon, so we'll keep you posted. But thank you, everyone, for listening and for tuning in. Light, peace, love,
and soul.
Bye,
guys.